The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all.
How far South Africans? I be now. Very soon, every South African that is living outside South Africa will have to come back to South Africa because they will not be safe where they are and they will not be comfortable. They will be chased out back to South Africa. You guys are just adding to the number of jobless people in your country because when they come back, they will also be jobless. No job. Do you know how many companies were shut down in South Africa just after you guys started all these things? Over 200 and something. And up until now, we couldn't find anyone that really got a job. So all these things that you guys are doing is for nothing. You guys won't have work. You guys will all be jobless.
I don't need permission in Uganda. MTN is a South African company, reaching millions from Africa. They are killing our people in South Africa. I want to call you Ugandans to raise up against any South African here, whether legal or illegal. We want to say this installation here, we have never segregated them. But I think South Africans are used to violence. And if they are used to violence, we will give them the same in equal measure. I'm not stopping the work here. I'm simply picketing. And you journalists and the Ugandans come up against any South African. This is their installation. Any South African, we ask them to leave this country. We ask them to leave this country. Or else we can give the equal measure. Stanbic Bank is their bank. We can go there together. Stanbic Bank, they are getting from Ugandans, from fellow Africans, and really treating us in that way. This one is their bank. This one here is their bank. Without any fear of interference and arrest, I'm making what we call a picket. This bank here gives profits to the government of South Africa. I pity President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is a father-in-law to this country. But the pressure he has gone through is very bad. We can't treat fellow Africans, black Africans, the way they are doing. If there is any South African here, let them leave. And I want to incite you Ugandans in a clean way, humble way. We know they are investors. Let them leave. We can employ Ugandans in their own installation. But we will not sit back simply when they are killing. Nancy Marona is dead, killed in South Africa from my home. And we cannot just simply. The Ugandans who are here, please listen to me. Bana South Africa batumala wo. Wachife tuleke ebyabwe ne bakolera wa. Tetwagala muno ba South Africans balekera abana Uganda bakole emirimu. Mwebale nnyo.
I'm very happy that the Uganda people, they have arrived because how South Africans treat their citizens living in Uganda is getting out of hand. They have arrived. Nigeria, please. Nigeria, please, oh. Nigeria, please, oh. I will break my head now. Nigeria, please, wanna arrive. Because you see what South Africa do to us. It's unforgettable. Even my unborn children, you go still there for me, then go still see that news. With a day like this, what South Africans did to Nigerians that are living over there is getting out of hand. So let all the whole world, that all the whole Africans, make on arrive. Is this South Africa? Wanna go collect woto. No to say we did not tell you people. I raise my case for you.
Today, MTN services, it is very poor here in Uganda. Then I was questioning, why is the service very poor? Because you try to call someone and it either does not go through or the call just cuts off all of a sudden. Then I picked my phone and I was scrolling through TikTok this evening and I saw a guy made a video about how a Ugandan was killed in South Africa about a week ago. Okay? But remember, I was following this whole South Africa saga which has been going on. These guys are so heartless to fellow Africans, I must say. I watched where they told a Nigerian guy who is employing over 25 South Africans to close his shop and go back to South Africa. Now, why would someone have such a big business if he's illegal? So they forced him, they were telling him to close his business and leave South Africa. Mark you, we have South African businesses here in Uganda. First of all, let's not even talk about how their services are very poor. Let's start with MTN, which is having a poor network today. These guys are very, very corrupt. One, if I call someone and I say, hello, why are you chopping over a minute? Why are you chopping over a minute? I'm not even taking a minute talking and you've taken a minute off. This is why I've decided, like, I'm not gonna use MTN. I just use it for my businesses, and that's why, because most of my customers use MTN. Now, if they decide to call cross-line, it becomes expensive. But for my calls, I use Airtel. Even when you're calling cross-line, the services is just... Even when you're in deep village, the services is just... And let's go to Stanbic. The rest, the shop rights, I'm not going to talk about them. That's the worst bank you'll ever use. One, the charges are so high. I've ever had 3 accounts in Stanbic. One, that was in 2016. I had that account and it was a dollar account. I was in Senate too. We had put $100 in the account and within a month the money was gone. When we asked them, they told me it was for charges. Closed the account. Fast forward to 2022, I opened again another account with Stanbic. And within a month, they would chop like 10,000-20,000. And when you ask them, they tell you it's charges. It became too much for me and I closed the account. Again last year, I opened up another account. I need an account for my business. So I opened it up with Stanbic. These guys will chop ridiculous amount of money. And I was like, no, I can't afford this. I decided to close that account and go to DSU and Centenary. So if you know you're a South African and you're running a business here in Uganda, pack and leave. We don't need your services. One, you're very corrupt. Two, they're very poor. Since you guys think you can consume all your services, please, we don't need it. When you go, we will work on our economy. We also want to work on our economy. So please pack and leave. We don't need you here.
Now things are getting worse. There's a report that the Uganda Chief of Army General or Staff of the Army General has also issued a deadline to South Africans to leave before August. Just the same way they deported the Ugandans back to South Africa, they are also asking their people to leave before August because they don't want to have them in their country. So, if every country decides to send South Africans back home and close the South African businesses, how will you South Africans feel? You are just 1 against 53. How would you feel? Like Jacinta goes around saying something that the report says that about 60% of the crime rates in South Africa were committed by illegal migrant. But the truth stays that this thing was said in 2017 by somebody. I hope you have heard the track records of such a person. And this is the person who says something, and Jacinta, based on that, and decides that everything from 2017, that is not even your officials who brought this, is just an individual who made that statement. And that is what Jacinta based everything on in order to say illegal migrants must leave. But the current report about the crime rate in South Africa, like P.O. Lumumba said, it's not foreigners. It's your own people, South Africans. So why will you, a South African, hear this and rise up against your brothers? Are you saying that South Africans don't commit crimes? Are you saying that if all foreigners should leave, South Africa will be a crime-free nation? Even the big nations who said they are developed nations, there are crimes everywhere. There are crimes everywhere. So why do you make it look as if every situation or every problem in South Africa is caused by people who are doing legitimate businesses in your country? For what reason will you be chasing your brothers? And look at the economic implication that South Africa is already going through just because other Africans have decided that South Africans must leave their countries. This is not only going to affect South Africans or the foreigners. It's going to affect everybody, because our brothers and sisters returning, they have lost everything. And South Africans going back home too will lose everything. Will we end this now, or we want to start fighting among ourselves when we are supposed to be uniting at this crucial moment to fight for our true liberation? Is it what we want for ourselves? When we are seeing the Sahel leaders uniting, they told us the Black Winter is coming. And this is the thing that we see our brothers and sisters in South Africa starting. Why can't you see beyond this? Is this what we want for ourselves in this 21st century? This must go, this must go. And who does it benefit? Like Dr. Rikana asked, who does it benefit? According to Dr. Rikana, they are brown envelopes. So the people on the street that is supporting this agenda, have you gotten the jobs that you are looking for ever since these foreigners left? By looting their shops, has it provided you a job? Why will you unveil yourself to be used against your own progress? Because the economic crisis that will hit South Africa will be massive. If all African countries should decide to cut ties, close all South African businesses, do you know what we are going to go through in South Africa, my brothers and sisters? This is information age, and we don't have to fall for things of the sort. This is the time we need to empower ourselves, see how we will liberate ourselves, and not the time for us to be fighting and separating ourselves and causing pain to our own selves, which doesn't benefit us but benefit people. The same people who impose their borders on us are moving freely, and we are still in this 21st century with this information age. You, the youth, will be allowing yourselves